to my channel. October is the awareness month for selective mutism, and this year I wanted to do something a little different. And I have asked a few friends and families and people that I know to describe what are their fears. Selective mutism is not a choice. Children and young adults and adults that still have selective mutism are unable to speak in specific situations, and they don't choose to do that. None of us choose to have a fear. Fear and anxiety and phobias have a huge impact in our lives. We don't choose to be scared. It's something that comes from our mind, and some of the fears have unknown origins, and we certainly can control the way we feel. However, one of the things that I say is always to imagine what do they look like, what do we need to do and not to avoid. So I would like to thank this friend who has described her life living with anxiety, and although it's not selective mutism, it still makes us realise that fear can have a huge impact.
I'm 30 years old, and when I started primary school I found out that I had a difficulty reading. I was reading a lot slower than my peers, and I was making mistakes when I was reading, and gradually going through primary school I noticed that my friends their reading was getting better and mine wasn't. So when it was my turn to read, I would hear my friends say, "Oh no, not her again, she's going to take forever." They would laugh, they would smile. I just felt like all their eyes were on me, and I just wanted to disappear into a hole in the ground. I wanted to be as small as I could. I wanted to be somewhere else, completely different. And I started hating school because of this. I overcome it over the years. When you're in school, reading aloud in front of your peers, in front of your teacher, is mandatory. It's not something where you can choose not to do it. So I just had to do it, and I just had to tolerate people's reactions. I used to blush a lot, and that was something that people laughed about when I was reading, but even in other moments, if I was embarrassed about something, I would blush, and people would point it out on a regular basis, which really didn't help. But nowadays it's a lot better, and when I need to read aloud, I just do it. And what I've noticed is that people are not looking at me, and they're not laughing, and they're not pointing anything out. And I've noticed that I blush less, and that I feel more confident and more resilient at doing it. Still, yes, I don't read as fast as everyone else. It takes me a long time, but people accept it, and people accept differences, and I feel like working in the world of education and special needs, this has also really helped me to understand the difficulties the children have better, and have more understanding and patience. So having patience and putting steps in place and making things easier for them, that's probably something that I've learnt also by myself, and to help myself get through this fear. So nowadays I would say I'm not scared of reading, but it still doesn't make me feel comfortable. If I can choose not to, then I won't.